Everybody. This is the People's Music Network for Songs of Freedom and Struggle. We are doing our swap here in November 21st. That's the full graphic right there. And my name is Ben Grosscup. I'm the executive director of the People's Music Network. I'm really excited today. We have some new members of People's Music Network who are going to be sharing in our circle for their first time. We've got a lot of announcements. You know, many of you maybe participated last month in the PMN hybrid convergence, which was kind of like the in-person component of it was centered in New York City at the People's Forum on West 37th Street. And that was a wonderful experience. We had like about 60 people in person there at the People's Forum. We had another 60 people who were participating in the online part of the event. And it really kind of inspired us to keep, moving forward as a network in a number of ways. For a bunch of years there, starting in March 2020, all we were really doing was in-person event or online events. And then we started doing in-person events just last month. And the People's Forum is happy to have us back in February. So what we're going to do is have the traditional winter convergence that we used to do usually in the last weekend of January. We're going to move that. We're going to have that February 10th through 12th, 2023. The idea is kind of a global convergence. So what was so successful about the fall convergence that we did in October was we had these people meeting together in person at the People's Forum in these workshops to develop collaborative pieces. And that's what we shared at the collaborative concert. We used to call it the round robin, and we're still going to have a round robin, but this is actually a little different than a round robin. This is a collaborative concert. So the invitation for the workshops on Saturday, we're talking specifically Saturday, February 11th, 2023, is to develop a new piece of music with people, on a particular topic. And as a network, we're really committed to focusing on the role that music plays in social movements. So we really need to focus on how our music is topically relevant to the movements that we are part of. So that is the plan for what will be happening in the People's Forum. But the invitation also for the rest of the global network is to consider getting a group of musicians together in your local area, maybe at a community center, maybe in your living room, and see if you can develop a new piece of music that is specific to a particular topic. And then we can zoom you into the People's Forum and zoom you onto our live stream as well. And that's going to be a really exciting event because I think having this in-person component to what we do as a network is so important. Another opportunity coming up is going to be May 26th to 28th, 2023. That's the PMN Summer Gathering. We haven't actually done this since the summer of 2018, believe it or not, but we're really excited. We have a committee outside of, with a lot of people involved in PMN in the Boston area. We're looking right now very strongly considering Camp Grottenwood, which is in Groton, Massachusetts, and looking very strongly at the dates, May 26th to 28th, 2023. This is nearly a done deal that we're going to go ahead with this, and we're going to really try to bring back into being the incredible connection, friendship, and community building that we do at People's Music Network. That's going to be Memorial Day weekend, May 26th to 28th, 2023. Put the dates on your calendar. This is going to be a great coming together of the whole network in Groton, Massachusetts. So make plans and save Memorial Day for next year. But here we are on a Zoom event, friends, like we've been doing a lot. And we're going to continue these Zoom events because this has been a really important networking tool for the People's Music Network since March 2020. And we're definitely intending to keep this thing going. I want to invite folks to share the live stream. Right here is the information you're going to need. So you can go right onto your social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, post that to social media. Tune in, tell people to tune in to what we're doing here today. We got some great new songs. Lyrics, I think you know the drill. If you want those posted so that people can read your lyrics, if I have them, you can ask me to screen share them, and I'd be happy to do that while you're performing. Here's another thing we're doing. Especially this is for the folks who are coming onto this live stream for their first time, is we're offering verbal encouragement. And the way we do that is the performer who comes right before you is the person you're particularly listening to. And then when it's your turn to come onto the stage, I'm going to invite you to actually share a word or two with them. Something about your experience of their song. I think it's one of the ways we show respect to one another at the People's Music Network is sort of connecting with what in another person's song affected us, made us feel moved, perhaps, made us, or just struck us, just got us interested in the topic at hand. So keeping those comments positive, focused on your own experience of the piece, and brief. That's the three criteria we're looking for. And then use the chat box as much as you would like to share comments and encouragement to your fellow musician here throughout the entire event. And then as long as we all stick to 5 minutes, more or less, we're going to be good. I'm pretty excited about the lineup today. Our very first performer is Eric Law, who is a member of the PMN Steering Committee. And with your permission, I'm going to bring you on to the stage with me. Eric, how are you?
I'm good. Hi, Ben.
Hey.
I didn't know I was going first.
You are, man.
Let me see. Let me get ready. Give me just a second. How do I sound?
Give you a second. I think.
Does that sound okay?
Double check the original sound, but Eric is on our steering committee from California. What do you always joke, the two-dimensional steering committee member, in the sense that like we know you from the screen so far, but I'm so glad that you connected with our group and that you're part of our leadership team now.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, Ben. It's been People's Music Network was a lifeline for me during the pandemic, and I was working on I just retired. I was gonna full steam ahead with my music career, and then of course all my plan to perform and push my albums just gone. So I found PMN and online, and that has been a wonderful, wonderful community that I did not expect, and make many new friends. Sarah, hi Sarah, and Barbara, all the good people that I met, and so. This is a song. Should I go now? Song? Okay, this is.
It's time for you to go. Yes, yeah. Tell us about your song.
This is a sound that was workshopped at the If I Had a Song, which we're having one next Monday. Okay, we welcome you to join us, where we give each other really solid feedback as our song progress. And I've been on the topic of truth for a while now. For those of you who know my music. And so this is one of those new one, and it's called Mirror. Okay, so the subject is truth. They show me a tree. I said, that is a tree. And then they smiled and said, that's right, this is a tree. They show me a nail, and I said, that is a nail. And then they smiled and said, that's right, this is a nail. They shed someone's blood. I said, there's a lot of blood. But then they smiled and said, oh no, it's just a little red paint. I said, there's no paint. They said, don't be a saint. We got the tree and the nails, so you better stop your complaints. I said, where is the light? They said, you don't need light. If you just see what we tell you to see, Oh, you'll always be right. But I trust what I see. There are many more like me. We won't let threats and fears to block our sights of reality. I held up a mirror. They said, "What's with the mirror?" So I just smiled and said, "That's right. This is a mirror. Look in the mirror. I got the mirror. We got the mirror."
Bravo,
Thank you.
Eric. Thank you. Is that a new song?
Yes, that's a new song. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Mara Levine is our next performer. Mara, feel free to share a word with Eric.
Absolutely. That's such a powerful song, Eric. And it's such a reminder of how it's very difficult for individuals to speak the truth when those in power tell us it's very dangerous to do so. So it's important that you point out that we can hold up the mirror and how important it is to hold up the mirror so that not only are people empowered to speak the truth, but people have to look at themselves if they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, so I'm going to share my new music video of Arlen Bennett's song, Be the Change. And even though Rosa Parks and Gandhi are not mentioned by name in the song, there's references to them. So what I tried to do was bring all kinds of imagery and footage in that kind of illustrates the themes of making a difference through non-violent actions, including voting, speaking out, protesting, and going out and volunteering and making a difference. And in this video with me, I have Robin Greenstein and Barbara Novick, who are singing with me on the studio recording, and also Bob Harris and John Guth play the instruments on the studio recording. I hope you all enjoy the video.
A woman stepped on a bus like any one of us after a hard-working day. She walked halfway back to a seat marked for blacks and took her place. She was someone who really understood how a law could be a crime when she wouldn't give her seat to a white man on his feet. Yes, it was time to be the change you want to see around you. Be the right in a world of wrong. Be the one to make a difference. Be the change, be the change. Many years before, another place, another war, in the struggle to be free, a wise barefoot man had his own plan to fight the enemy. He said it makes no sense change you want to see around you. Be the right in a world of wrong. Be the one to make a difference. Be the change, be the change. It's the pull of a lever. It's the sound of your voice. It's now or never. Oh, it's a choice to be the change you want to see around you. Be the right in a world of wrong. Be the one to make a difference. Be the change, be the change, be the change, be the change. Be the change you want to see around you. Be the right in a world of wrong. Be the one to make a difference. Be the change, be the change, be the change, be the change.
Bravo! Bravo! You should tell us a little more about the video production. When did you all do that?
So we did the video production in the fall. We started out, we were going to, myself and Robin and Barbara were going to do an outdoor shoot on the one day that we could all get together with Efrat Shapira, who did most of the videography. I did some of it. And it rained that day. So Efrat offered to take us one at a time to her house. She had a green screen in a room with a filter and fans and air coming in. So we went one at a time and filmed ourselves. And then I found this fabulous statue of Rosa Parks in Newark, New Jersey. And I went by myself on Columbus Day. There was nobody downtown. It was in the municipal complex, just me and a policeman. And I shot myself various times in various poses. And I found a beautiful statue of Gandhi I shot myself at too, but the footage didn't work out as well as the stock footage I found. And we just combed archival footage and different footages to find images that we thought would really tell the story of the song. And Efrat did the editing. You know, I gave guidance of where I wanted things, and she suggested ideas. And so that's how the video came together, and it was released on November 4th, just before Election Day, to encourage people to vote. I tried to get it for the 1st, but, you know, things happen. So I'm going to put the link in the chat, too, to anybody who wants to rewatch the video, can share the link. I'm very proud of the video.
Great. And the track itself is off your CD, right?
Yes, it's off my CD, Facets of Folk, which came out in 2019.
And that so the two harmony vocalists, Robin Greenstein
and Barbara Novick, are the two women that were singing in the video, yeah.
And on the original.
And on the recording.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you so much for doing that and bring it to PMN. I want to bring on our next performer. Her name is Sarah Pirtle. She gets to say a word about the video as well. Hey, Sarah.
I can't wait to share that video with other people. It was just in every dimension. It was so strong and important. It's like we really need it now. I just can imagine lots of people. I want to send it to teenagers I know. You know, it was just flawless. Your voice is so strong and warm, and like the whole positive mention of the song, and then the way you chose the images, and then the story of making it. You're there with the policeman and the statue. So it was just incredibly successful, and it's a real gift to the network and to all the people who are going to hear it.
Thank you very much.
Well, Ben, I can jump in, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, this song is called Carry My Truth. And I love this sense that we can all be partners in carrying each other's truth. I've been working on this song for 5 or 6 years. It's still not done. But what we're going to hear is the voice of Valerie Dent. It's a true story from 2015. She was a sergeant in the National Guard, and once a year she had to go to target practice at a shooting range for her license. But the time that she was there, the local North Miami police had just been there before her. Woke up early to train at the shooting range. Local police just finished their turn. I found out what they set up to shoot at. When I saw their target, it made my soul burn. They were aiming their guns at mugshots of black men. Whose face is this with the bullet holes? I went up close and broke out screaming. That's the face of my brother, that's really my brother. It was Woody, he's the target they chose. We are people of the turnaround. We are elders, we are youth. We are partners of the turnaround. Who will help me carry this truth? I recognize Woody by his defiant hope that no bullet hole can ever erase. This tattered photo I hold in my hands is my own brother's face. I called up Woody, you won't believe what I found. That teenage drag race when they put you in jail. The mugshot they took now has come around. We gotta call up the news, we gotta tell this tale. I sit on the couch with Woody and his partner. Children are playing while we make our plans. We talk to our lawyer and all who join with us. God's work is in our hands. The TV came to Police Chief Dennis. He said pictures are vital for our sniper drills. He said there's nothing wrong, be no discipline. We need practice to be ready to kill. Who will hear? Who will join with us? Who will listen and understand? Who will speak up and keep on speaking? Who will carry this truth in their hands? A phone call came from a faraway minister. She sounded nervous, but she said she was led. Miami police got the photo, she sent them. She told the police, use me instead. Now they hold that photo of Reverend Joy Gunnerman. I'll be the eyes of truth. That's what she said, with her clerical collar and a circle on her forehead. If you want to target, use me instead. We are people of the turnaround. We are elders. We are youth. We are partners of the turnaround. In my hands, I carry your truth. Many pastors sent in their photos to resist race hatred. Daughters and sons, we're all part of one big tree of life. With our help, a new day is begun. With our help, a new day is begun. People of the turnaround.
Wow, Sarah, thank you for sharing that. Where's that noise coming from? Anybody else hear that? Okay, I think it went away. Yes, beautiful song. And I just want to bring on our next performer. And I just want to say to you, Sarah, thank you for sharing the song with me also beforehand. It was fun chatting with you about it. And having heard an earlier version, like, I just want to like lift up here one of the things, which is like, yeah, you know, sometimes a song takes 5 or 6 years to write. I've had a few like that myself. And I think it's a particular thing I think we cultivate in PMN, of people who are willing to sort of like look at their work and then examine it really critically, and then always have that desire to sort of like make the message land even more effectively, you know? And it's just like so cool to see that. So I want to appreciate you for that. I want to bring on our next performer, who's Barbara Dyskant. Welcome, Barbara. Go ahead and unmute yourself, and feel free to share a word with Sarah.
All right, I think I'm unmuted. If
Oh,
not,
yeah, we hear
forgive
you.
me. I am incredibly privileged because I get to go after Sarah, so I can tell everybody here without having to reach for my chat how incredibly moving that song was. It's not only the song, it's the very sincere way that you tell the story. It's not only the story, but the storyteller. And I think those two combine to make it. Am I hearable? Am I on? Yeah, it's like the story.
You sound great.
Yeah, it's the storyteller and the story together. You don't really separate them the way I see that. And it goes beautifully. And the detail, each detail makes it real so you can see it. And I appreciate that. Plus the musicality. The third ingredient is the musicality. Otherwise known as, I would like to hear that many times, sung to many people. So thank you, Sarah, and thanks, Ben, for sticking me after Sarah so I could say all this. Is there something on this? It says, oh, it has highlighted my video for everyone. It says I mute myself, but I already did. I'm going to sing one that's also, in a sense, this feels to me a bit of a parallel to Eric Law's song. And I wrote it quite a while ago, brought it to the If I Had a Song workshop, and they sort of said it still is, because I wanted to know if it was still current. I still have some words to change, but it's sort of another interpretation of the mirror, what we're told versus what we see. Oh, death ran from the skies in New York town. Thousands died, the Twin Towers tumbled down, so they hauled off and bombed Afghanistan. Spread death and destruction to that war-torn land. To my way of thinking, it's kind of the same, but it ain't terrorism if they do it in our name. Ain't terrorism if they do it in our name. Ain't terrorism if they do it in our name. To my way of thinking, it's kind of the same, but it ain't terrorism if they do it in our name. Well, we bombed Iraq. They got on TV. They did it again. Said it was for security. Is it coincidence? There's oil over there to run our SUVs, keep up our corporate share. It don't matter much what nations they despoil, 'cause it ain't devastation if we get to keep the oil. Ain't devastation if we get to keep the oil. Ain't devastation if we get to keep the oil. It don't matter much what nations they despoil, 'cause it ain't devastation if we get to keep the oil. Well, we've got the Patriot Act, Homeland Security. For the illusion of justice, they're no longer free. Now they can search our homes, tap our phones, throw us in jail. They're talking torture if interrogations fail. The courts can have the power to do what they want on their own, but it ain't fascism if it happens in our home. Ain't fascism if it happens in our home. Ain't fascism if it happens in our home. The powers that be can do what they want on their own, but it ain't fascism if it happens in our home. Well, they're spreading lies and secrecy throughout our loving land. Then they have the gall to tell us that united we all stand. If we get to question, they say we're wrong. Who knows what they'll say to me for singing this song? 'Cause you gotta believe what the media says, 'cause it ain't propaganda if we hear it from our press. Ain't propaganda if we hear it from our press. Ain't propaganda if we hear it from our press. You gotta believe what the media says, 'cause it ain't propaganda if we hear it from our press. Ain't terrorism if they do it on our name, they tell us. They say it ain't terrorism if they do it on our name. You know, I'm thinking it over. You know, it really is the same. We gotta stop that evil that they're doing in our name.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Yeah. Thank you,
you.
Barbara. Yeah, I'm going to bring on our next performer. He's from the UK, Tony Harper. But if I may just throw a comment in myself, which I don't always do, but I appreciate the way that this song connects the question of fascism to militarism abroad. We don't often do that in the discussion of the threat of fascism in this country, but it's actually very related to the question of militarism. And I think this song from the sort of post September 11th era really hits that home quite effectively. There's a lot I've shared with you before about the song itself that I think is wonderful, but thanks for making that point.
Thank you.
Tony, what do you want to offer to Barbara, and then tell us about you?
Yeah, that was, yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Thanks, Barbara. There's a kind of an anti-war, anti-imperialist boogie woogie, which I've kind of never heard. There needs to be more of it, and it's superbly relevant. I mean, whether you wrote it, did you write it a few years ago? Or
I wrote it right after the invasion of Iraq.
Iraq, right? Yeah.
I was sitting in the back of a car, furious, driving home from a meeting, and just it tumbled out.
But it's wonderfully relevant now. I mean, you look what's going on in the climate COP, the COP climate talks and all the nonsense that's going on. It's one law for them and one law for the rest of us, and that still holds true. Certainly does here in the UK. That was brilliant. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
That's great. Shall I go on now, Ben?
Yes, please, Tony. Tell us about you.
Kind of apologies for not playing, not being on this for quite a while. I've been a bit busy, and various things have got in the way. They seem to have got in the way when the things have come up. I've been writing a few things and playing quite a lot around Manchester and various things, and putting little gigs on and various things. But this is a song I kind of listening to people singing about historical songs mine workers and steel workers and agricultural workers. I was listening to that, and I was kind of thinking about how our class has changed a little bit, in the sense that, you know, you've got people delivering Uber Eats, you've got people, the nurses are threatening to go on strike in Britain now. We've got rail workers on strike. There's a sort of a booming list of people taking action, and it's a young working class that's changed a little bit, I think. So this is a song in that vein. It's called Brothers and Sisters. There's probably hundreds of songs called Brothers and Sisters, but this is another one. And it was basically, it came really out of the carers that came out of the lockdown, where all of a sudden people realised that these are essential people in society. You're the carers, you're the safety net at the bottom of the wall. There for the frail and the vulnerable, and those who can't make the call. You work on the railways, and you stand on the picket line. That makes you brothers and sisters of mine. You're the folk who bring the parcels, often running from door to door, working in the bars and for Uber Eats, destined to stay poor. You hide behind computer screens, and you stay there all the time. Still makes you a brother and sister of mine. So stand together, don't listen to their lies of how the moneyed classes think they're the only ones with eyes to see. We have the struggle, it's all we've had since way back in time. I'll always be a brother and sister of mine. You're the refugees trying to stake a claim. You're the nurse to the ill and the sick. You're the one who picks the food that we eat. You're the ones who lay the bricks. You're the drivers who bring the goods all around so they get there just in time. Yeah, that makes you brothers and sisters of mine. You're the ones who stack the shelves all day. You're the one who plants the trees. You're the ones who teach our children, give them confidence and ease. Ones paint the lines on the road so all of us can see. Working classes, most of us will be till we're free. So stand together, don't listen to their lies of how the moneyed classes think they're the only ones with eyes to see. We've got the struggle, It's all we've had since way back in time. Give your brothers and sisters of mine. That makes your brothers and sisters of mine. That makes your brothers and sisters of mine. It's only short. It might be needed to be longer, but that's it. But
Oh, what a beautiful song.
my voice isn't. I've just got over a cold, so my voice ain't great.
But you carried it, my friend. That's a beautiful song. Thank you, Tony. So glad to have you back with us. Glad you could make the time to do this.
Good to be here.
I want to bring on our next performer. Gabrielle Zui is a new member of People's Music Network. I'll let her introduce herself a little further. And since it is your first time, Gabrielle, feel free to say a word to our friend from the UK, and maybe you can tell us a little extra about yourself since it's your first time coming to PMN.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Tony, I thought the song was a really beautiful show of solidarity. It was quite sweet, while also like covering the facts. And it tied in the music and sentiments of, I guess, the traditional labor movement really well with the way that it plays out today. You know, using Uber Eats drivers as an example alongside all of these other jobs and things that people may have thought of and have already sung about for many years. So yeah, I thought it was really beautiful. And your guitar also.
Thank you.
Yeah. So hi, my name is Gabrielle Zui. I think I just became a member of PMN like a week ago. And I graduated college in May. It was actually a week before the shooting at Robb Elementary School in Texas. And the day after that shooting, I wrote this song titled Guns to a Playground Fight, as a reflection of that, but also of just, I guess like my whole my student life, kind of coming to at least a temporary end, and how gun violence, or I guess the threat of gun violence, has been such a central part of that, and how when I'm, graduating from college, my main points of reflection shouldn't be about how I got through elementary, middle, high school, college without directly experiencing a school shooting. But yeah, so this is called Guns to a Playground Fight, and this Thanksgiving this week marks 6 months since the Robb Elementary School shooting, and December 14th marks 10 years since the Sandy Hook shooting. Yeah. I've never lived a single day in a world without mass school shootings. With Columbine in 99, you'd think by now I'd be desensitized. Sandy Hook when I was in 7th grade. How naive was I to believe things would change? They never change. 'Cause that's the America we live in. That's the America we grew up in, don't you know? That's the America we fight for, even though they fight back at us as they chant pro-life, bringing their guns to the playground fight. I graduated college just last week, and I think about how I was lucky enough to make it all the way through with just bomb threats and shooting drills, and hearing from friends at Magruder and Great Mills, and seeing it on the news, and the grief and anxiety. But never the real thing, no, never the real thing. And that's the America we live in. That's the America we grew up in, don't you know? That's the America we fight
fight for, even though they fight back at us as they chant for life, bringing their guns to a playground. And my friends, they never knew the end of it, and I fear we'll never put an end to this. How many lives of children will be lost to it? How many times? How many times? And that's the America we live in. That's the America we grew up in, don't you know? That's the America we fight for, even though they fight back at us as they chant for life, bringing their guns to a playground to fight. Bringing their guns to a playground to fight.
Bravo. Wow. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining PMN. That was great.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much.
That's fantastic. I'm going to turn it over to our next performer to say a little more about that song. Jason Baker. Welcome,
Hey.
Jason.
Hey, Gabrielle, wow, great job writing on that song. Great job performing that song.
Thank you.
Your singing is lovely, and the ukulele together gives it the fragility that topic really deserves. As someone who worked as an IT professional in school systems, I actually was at Essex Elementary School here in Vermont when there was a shooting. And so as someone who's lived through this, who actually did have to experience it to some extent and lost a colleague, I thank you for writing that song. It's very important to hear that, and I think it's a touching way of getting people to understand. I also wrote a song. I think this is a bit of editorial content based on Ben's choice here, but my song is also about violence against children. So I think it's a good follow-up to your song. This song I just did write this year, right after the same shooting that you referenced. Yeah, I'm a little shook up, actually. Give me a second. I'm going to turn this, get this sound dialed in, and then I'll play it for you. I just released this on an EP, and it's called It Doesn't Go Away. A child turns to her mom, asking where they are going. Mom walks quickly with two kids, says, I have no way of knowing. She holds both of their hands and urges them to hurry. Hurry. She cannot hide her fear, her face a mask of worry. That's when artillery comes whistling down, and their three bodies lie still on the ground. It doesn't go away because you look away. Speak out loud the names of those who died today. It doesn't change a thing when you just think and pray. It doesn't go away because you look away. A child gives a kiss to mom. I love you, see you later. Having fun, learning maps, and finding the equator. A stranger comes into the school carrying a gun. And and in one screaming second that no one could outrun. That's when the children all fall down, and there they are in pieces and blood on the ground. And it doesn't go away because you look away. Speak out loud the names of those who died today. It doesn't mean a thing when you just think and pray. It doesn't go away because you look away. Bullets fly, a child dies, a mother cries or lies beside. Don't be surprised what this implies. Let the scales fall from your eyes. It doesn't go away because you look away. Speak out loud the names of those who died today. It doesn't mean a thing when you just think and pray. It doesn't go away because you look away. It doesn't go away because you look away. It doesn't go away.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
So I think we actually have 3 songs about gun violence in a row. I don't know if I can really claim to have said that was a fully intentional move on my part as I was putting it together, but Steve Siegelbaum, I know, is doing a song on this topic as well. Steve, feel free to offer a word to Jason. And after Steve goes, I'm going to bring Gabrielle back up to make an announcement.
Thanks, Ben. Jason, the first thing I have to say is that standing just to my right off camera is my wife, and she's wiping tears from her eyes.
Oh, I hope she's okay.
She's fine. She listened closely to your song. And maybe that's all the commentary that's needed, but I will add that I thought it's a really powerful, poignant depiction of what happens all too often. You having experienced it firsthand, I suppose, lent something to that power and poignancy. But
Thank you. I'm humbled.
It does hit home. So thank you for it.
And thank you.
So as Ben indicated, here's yet a third song on the subject. Here goes an intentional pun. I hope this is not overkill. But it's a somewhat different take, recognizing the importance and sensibility of what Gabrielle sung about and what Jason just sang about. Here's a song that I wrote about 8-9 months ago, sometime this past spring, in the midst of, in the wake of the plethora, the ongoing mass shootings. And I had intended to do this song this afternoon, but recent events, and they keep on coming. University of Virginia, Colorado Springs, and on and on and on and on ad nauseum. This is called "He Had a Gun," and it's something that the media seems to avoid mentioning. They try every which way to come up with psychological examinations of why it's happening, and mental issues, and all other aspects of what goes on. But we rarely hear the one thing that all mass shootings have in common. This is it. Turn on the TV, news is breaking, another mass shooting in town. Sirens are wailing, heads are shaking. Sirens are wailing, heads are shaking. I'll get the words. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Turn on the TV, news is breaking, another mass shooting in town. Sirens are wailing, heads are shaking, school buildings all shut down. Not for the first time, it won't be the last. So many questions that need to be asked. We've come to believe the die is cast, but when all is said and done, he had a gun. He had a gun. Cameras, microphones ready to roll. The minister leads them in prayer. Press conference scheduled at City Hall. Comforting words from the mayor. They know exactly what needs to be said for the ears of the living concerning the dead. How many tears they're willing to shed, how sorry they are and how stunned that he had a gun. He had a gun. Give us the details and leave nothing out. What kind of weapon was used? Was he a loner, or if there is doubt, what sort of friends did he choose? And what of those violent video games? They have to take a lot of the blame. So many factors that we could name. But however the story is spun, he had a gun. He had a gun. Some say he was normal, some think he was sick. Maybe he hated his father. We'll do the research on what made him tick. He must have been desperately bothered. Let's check his Facebook and Instagram too. We could find something to give us a clue. Then we would know just what to do. But the answer's as plain as the sun. He had a gun. He had a gun. Pews in the church are all filled today. The line outside reaches the corner. Some come to grieve, others to pray. Family, friends, and mourners. Ask the psychiatrist, ask the cops, ask the officials from bottom to top. Why in the world these killings don't stop? They give every reason but one. He had a gun. He had a gun.
Bravo. Thank you very much, Steve. Powerful song. Powerful songs in combination. I want to bring Gabrielle up real quick to just make an important announcement. about something. Gabrielle, welcome back. Go ahead.
Hi. Um, Thank you so much for your beautiful song. Yeah, I love that the three of us were back to back and had three very different perspectives and also different areas of focus among like the same things that are happening in all the songs. So the song that I performed will be released on December 9th, which is just a few days before the 10th anniversary of the Sandy Hook shooting. And all of the profits from streaming and downloads will be donated to Lives Robbed, which is a charity pending 501c3 status, founded by families who lost children and grandchildren at Robb Elementary School in Texas. So I think that's the whole announcement. And also, if anyone watching, I've released songs before, but they've kind of just been for my friends and family and for the people at the local open mics that I go to, etc. I've never really done a promotional push, if that makes sense. But with this one, I feel really strongly about the message, of course, and so I'm trying to get it out to whoever needs to or wants to hear it. So if anyone is interested in helping do that, let me know. If you have a radio show or a blog or just know people, I would be so grateful to help spread the song and to gather more donations for Lives Robbed. But yeah, thank you for putting my announcement in there.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And, just occurs to me with so many songs here, one of the things we do sometimes at PMN is take a particular topic and then get a whole bunch of songs on that topic, not just 3, but 15, 20, and do a whole evening just dedicated to that topic. So that's something we might do moving forward. I'm going to bring on our next performer. Her name is Cleo. Welcome, Cleo, and feel free to give a word to our friend Steve Siegelbaum.
Hi, Steve. That was wonderful. I loved the verse about the hypocrisy of the tears. The mayor comes on, says all the right things, and they never have a solution, and they never say anything about how they're going to stop it. And it's very well done. How you created the mood of what takes place. And it occurred to me, which is also why I wrote the song I'm about to sing, which actually is connected, that the U.S. is the greater producer and exporter of weapons in the world. And so it's kind of no surprise we have an overflow of gun violence at home, since that's what we're exporting, that's what we're doing at home. It's connected. We're militarizing the police to the, stuff to the teeth. And yeah, so I feel that the anti-war message and the anti-gun message at home are connected. Okay, and so I wrote this song. Not my war, not my war. I won't fight for the rich man no more. Not my war, not my war. My only war is class war. In the peace of springtime, the sun plays on the lake. The water reflects back that life is at stake. No one in Russia ever harmed me. Russia is not my enemy. Not my war, not my war. I won't fight for the rich man no more. Not my war, not my war. My only war is class war. In the heat of summertime, the sun says life is mine. In the heat of summertime, the sun says life is mine. and every dream is possible unless doomsday takes our time. Oh, no one in China ever harmed me. China is not my enemy. Not my war, not my war. I won't fight for the rich man no more. Not my war, not my war. My only war is class war. When autumn starts to take the light and the leaves decay, I know life may not return if bombs fall night and day. No one in Iran ever harmed me. Iran is not my enemy. Not my war, not my war. I won't fight for the rich man no more. Not my war, not my war. My only war is class war. In the winter storm, I build my strong snowman. I seek his counsel before his body melts to sand. No one in Palestine ever harmed me. Palestine is not my enemy. Not my war, not my war. I won't fight for the rich man no more. Not my war, not my war. My only war is class war. The ocean is wide and deep. The waves reach the sky. I search the horizon. Where does the dove hide? No one in Russia ever harmed me. Russia is not my enemy. Not my war, 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 not my war. My only war is class war. Thank you.
Bravo. Bravo. I just heard a talk by VJ Prashad where no war but the class war was the slogan he used. Very, very
Yep.
powerful. Thank you so much. I want to bring on our next performer, Rick Ward. Rick, welcome back to PMN. It's good to see you.
Yeah, man, good to be back. Oh my gosh, what a moving bunch of songs. So much. I feel the same way. It's like there's so much passion about, you know, we hear all these horrible things on the news, and I think the whole world is crying out. Just like that, they're saying, what is up with you guys? Oh, come on. It's awful. It's horrible, you know? It's like I'm just like, usually I say that in English, but that's how it comes out. That's the short version. It's like, oh my God, what a good job. Thank you, Cleo, for sharing that. Oh my gosh. It's the truth, you know? It's like, we don't want it. We don't want this. There are brothers and sisters too. You know, even the ones that are hornswoggled into being part of it. They're just mistaken, you know? We don't want to kill them. Of course not. We want to educate them. Sometimes, you want to educate them, but you can't. Oh my God, what can you do? Well, that's what I'm working on. I think this song is a good way, so I'm working toward that. I'm trying to sing toward common ground. That's the idea. And finding ways to speak to people of different backgrounds. So this latest one, this is one of my new songs. It's all like this. Got a brand new song for everybody. At first, I want to tell you a story about Abraham Lincoln. According to the legend, this is a true story now. There was a businessman that had done him wrong and cost him a heap of money, and he was hopping mad. So he sat down and wrote a letter, and he told the businessman exactly what he thought of him. But he held on to the letter for a day. He didn't send it. He rewrote it the next day. It was a little nicer. He still didn't send it. All right, 2 more days went by, and finally, by the 4th day, it was almost a love letter, and he sent that one. And Abraham Lincoln and that businessman became friends for life. Now, sometimes I get messages, I told you that to tell you this. Sometimes I get messages from Republican candidates requesting donations, and I just can't help it sometimes. I have to sit down and I write them back, and I let them have it. I mean, what's radical about mending bridges that are falling down? I don't understand. And explain to me, what's your plan? To do good for the world, things like that. And somebody said that cowboy is all hat and no horse. And I wrote songs like that, but after about a year or two, then I wrote this song. And it just says it nicer. Says it real nice, and I'm proud to say this song is redneck approved. Didn't know there was a rubber stamp for that, did ya? I played it for a friend of mine. He's just an all-around good guy, you can tell. And I never talk politics with him. I just drop by and play him a song every now and then. And he liked the song. That means it passed the test. And it doesn't say it until the very end. It just comes across as a regular bluegrass and country song that, why, this could even be on the radio in Tennessee. That would be Politics Under the Radar. I like the sound of that. Politics Under the Radar. But it's just the truth. And everybody knows it. I wrote this song because when I lived in the South, there wasn't politics at all like there is now. There was just all my friends and family. And good times and good music. But now, we got to get back to where we ought to be. That's what I'm saying. And that's what the song says, too, in between the lines. If you're going to use that name, you got to back it up. Feed the hungry. Help the poor. Be the real deal. Come on. Don't give me that stuff. I think we all feel that way from time to time. And that's the point. Let's get it right, y'all. I know we can. The name of the song, Tennessee Traveler, goes like this. I may sound like a Tennessee traveler, but I live in a New York town. I know every back road for miles and miles around. I was raised up in the Southland a long, long time ago. I started picking on the guitar, I wasn't even 12 years old. That was a long time ago. Back then it was Charlie Daniels, Leonard Skinner on the radio. Them boys was just getting started. right on off the road. And I sang with my sweetheart, she sang right in tune. And we love those love songs, and we love them too. If Tennessee was a lady, would she cry for America? Silver strings on the fiddle and the banjo. Won't you come on back where your heart wants to be? Yeah, get on down the road to Tennessee. I may sound like a Tennessee traveler, but I'm leaving a New York town. I'll learn every back road for miles and miles around. I was raised up in the Southland long, long time ago. When I heard the call from the heartland, Lord, you better get on the road. It's time. Don't keep Tennessee waiting. You've been gone long enough. Come on already. I may sound just a little like a Yankee, but I'm bound for Tennessee. I've been here in the Northland, cold as I can be. 'Cause our country's all in trouble, like we're too blind to see. Come on back to where we ought to be. In the name of Jesus, Tennessee. Come on.
Bravo! Thank you, Rick. Rick Ward, beautiful, beautiful playing. Great to hear you sing. Well, I want to bring on our next performers, Frankie Armstrong and Darien Pritchard. I first met you all when you guys were performing at the concert People's Music Network did to honor the songs and work of Leon Rosselson. But y'all are from living in Australia nowadays, right? You hearing me okay?
No, we're just visiting.
Visiting Australia. All right.
Yes. Yeah, Darien's from here, from Adelaide. So we're here for 3 months. Because of COVID, we weren't able to come. We usually come every year, but we weren't able to come for 4 years. So this is our first visit for a while. And since their new Labour government was voted, to all our friends' enormous relief, and ours, of course.
In Australia, right. That was a big election. Well, I don't know if you wanted to share a word with our friend Rick.
Well, I have to say, Rick, I really enjoyed the foot tapping energy of that. But I have to say, between my rather duff hearing and not knowing that much about the history you were obviously referencing, I really enjoyed it, but can't say more than that. I mean, I'd like to say about the whole evening, in fact, and pick up on the words before of power and passion and moving, and it's a privilege to be able to join you.
It's a privilege for us to have you. I know you're quite a legend on many of those recordings, Frankie. Songs of Leon Rosselson and your own. I think this is your first PMN song swap. Take a little time, both you and Darien, to just tell us about where you're coming from and how you come into this whole world of music. And I'll ask each of you to do a song.
How I come into this whole world of music? Well,
yeah, activist music, music with a political purpose.
Well, the anti-Vietnam War You know, I was singing in Trafalgar Square, and I was singing with Ewan McCall and Peggy Seeger, you know, against the Vietnam War back in the mid-60s. Well, 66, I think, was the first big demonstration I sang at. And since then, I've sung, well, for the anti-apartheid movement, for the Chile solidarity movement, for lots to do with anti-war, the campaign for nuclear disarmament, and the women's movement, Greenham Common. So really it's the thread that's gone through, as well as singing traditional songs. I'm a great lover of the British and Irish traditional song, and particularly the ballads. So like the two threads that have gone through my whole life, adult life, have been both the traditional songs, particularly those that illuminate the lives of women, and and songs for political and progressive causes. Shall I put it like that?
It's brilliant. We're just so glad to have you. Let's hear something.
Right. Well, I'm going to sing a song by the woman who is a dear friend and has been an inspiration since those days back in the 60s, Peggy Seeger. And it's a short song, but I think she sums up so much of what we in the world are currently facing. And the way I sing it is unaccompanied, and just with the title line of the song, it's very clear where people can join in. Sadly, we won't hear you all the way from South Australia on Zoom, but we will imagine you joining in. How I long for peace. How I long for peace amongst the peoples and the nations. How I long to halt the plunder of the wonders of creation. Oh, how I long for peace. Oh, how I long for peace. I cannot understand how the sisters, wives, and mothers cannot stop the slaughter of their husbands, sons, and brothers. Oh, how I long for peace. Oh, how I long for peace. There never can be peace until men abandon fighting as the way of solving problems that prevent us from uniting. Oh, how I long for peace. Oh, how I long for peace. The profits made from war, there are few that can resist them. Hypocrisy and greed control the lifeblood of our system. Oh, how I long for peace. Oh, how I long for peace. The earth can wait no longer for political permission. Sit down, disrupt, do anything to make the whole world listen. Oh, how I long for peace amongst the peoples and the nations. How I long to halt the plunder of the wonders of creation. Oh, how I long for peace. Oh, how I long for peace. Oh, how we long for peace.
Beautiful, beautiful song. That's an incredible song.
Isn't it beautiful? So short and yet takes in everything that's crucial to our future, the planet's future, our futures.
Darien, we heard you off camera. Now you're on camera. Tell us about you.
Yeah, I was quietly living my life here in Adelaide 37 or 38 years ago, and this woman came crashing into it. So after a few years, I followed her back to Britain. And because Frankie was a voice teacher as well as singer, I'd always sung, but not with any great skill. She opened up my voice for me. So, and we're back here, as Frankie said, on a holiday, first post-COVID revisit, seeing friends and family. And the song I'm going to give you is an Australian song. It was written by Ted Egan, who lives just outside Alice Springs, has been a very significant figure in the Northern Territory, which is the north part of the central section of Australia. And he in particular has been a great advocate for Aboriginal groups. He speaks 3 or 4 different Aboriginal languages. This song he wrote about 50 years ago when he was a junior research assistant at a week-long meeting of the Department of Aboriginal Affairs, white people, with a number of Aboriginal groups. And he wrote it because he felt that the Aboriginal groups were so secure in their sense of belonging in the land will support us and everything will sort out. And he feared that they didn't see the way that white Australia would impact on them by legal means, by all sorts of moneyed means to actually undermine them. So he wrote this as a sort of prophetic song. And I know that some years later, some of those Aboriginal people, he felt like he couldn't just say it to them, but the song came out and he felt that he says that some years later, some of these people came and some of the Aboriginal people said to him, yes, we understand what you were saying now, and it's really helpful to have it spelled out so we can see how we begin to negotiate with white society and how it's going to impact on us no matter how much we expect the land to do it.
Can I just say that the new government really does seem to be taking the issue of First Nations people here much more, really, there's hope.
So he's sort of put himself in the position of an Aboriginal person, but he is a white person. It's called Poor Fella My Country, which was also the name of a song written by a guy called Xavier Herbert around the same time, because it was a common expression amongst a number of Aboriginal people. Once when I'm a young boy, once told me, always look after this your country. Well, you are the river, you are the sea, You are the rocks, boy, this you country. Poor fella, my country. Poor fella me. Dreaming's a nightmare. Poor fella me. Once in a dream time, happy and free, children of nature in our country. Well, I was the emu, red kangaroo, dance in the firelight, didgeridoo. Poor fella, my country. Poor fella me. Dreaming's a nightmare. Poor fella me. Civilization, work for the boss, put on some clothes to cover your loss. Well, I was the moonbeam, star in the sky. I was the lightning flashing on high. Poor fella, my country. Poor fella me. Dreaming's a nightmare. Poor fella me. Talk to the tourist. Shop at the store. Now they're mining uranium. There's money galore. Well, I am the bottle, I am the can, wrapped up in plastic like civilized man. Poor fella, my country. Poor fella me. Dreaming's a nightmare. Poor fella me. Dreaming's a nightmare. Poor fella me.
Wow, cool song. That was great. I'm gonna actually ask Sarah Pirtle to step up again, because she had seen you, Frankie, in the 1980s perform in Western Massachusetts, where both Sarah and I live. And then our next performer is Lydia, but I wanted Sarah to say a word to you.
Frankie, I'm just so happy that you're here.
Oh.
And it seems like we had a little freeze in Sarah's video feed, which does happen from time to time. Not sure. Well, we might have to try that again, but I'm just going to read what Sarah put into the chat so you can hear it. Oh, you there?
Yes.
Go ahead,
try
Sarah.
again?
Yes, do.
Okay. So the group of us here who were part of surrounding the Pentagon in 1980, it was your music and who you are was so important to us. And then when you came to Northampton in Western Mass and you sang at the Iron Horse, I'll never forget your performance. It was so stirring. So to have you here at People's Music Network is like kinship and sisterhood. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're delighted to have you. Thanks for saying that, Sarah. Appreciate it. We heard it great. I want to bring on Lydia Adams Davis next. And hey, Lydia. Did you have anything you wanted to offer Frankie and Darien?
Yes, I really wanted to say, I thought it was really wonderfully unusual that Darien could give all this credit to his wife or his partner for opening his voice up. I think that's marvelous. And so he went ahead and he gave everybody of a certain age a wonderful vocal exercise tonight. Yes, if we, as we age, this is how we can retain flexibility in our vocal cords, by doing that exact Aboriginal humming thing. So that was wonderful, because I just sat here and tried to warm up my aging voice in preparation and in admiration. And I did have the opportunity to meet Peggy Seeger several times over my years, singing with Pete Seeger and all that Hudson River stuff that I do. So I'm very pleased that you actually are friends with her. What a wonderful thing. So I froze when I met her. I started to sing something that she'd written. I lost the words. I tried to make them up, and she gives me an eyebrow, wondering, I heard about you. You don't remember any words. You make them up on the spot. You had to be a hero. You had to show you cared. Now I'm left with memories of you. Now my life, I don't know what to do. Well, you had to be a hero and then strut your stuff. You go on duty, but that was not enough. Why did I hook up with the likes of you? Why did I not know you'd say you had a job to do? You had to be a hero, just like it ain't so now. No bravado, no self-precision, you just go with know-how. You do your job the way you believed it to be. You had to be a hero and make a widow of me. Why did I hook up with the likes of you? Why did I hook up with a man who climbed up on a hookup, a man who climbed up a hookup, a ladder, a ladder, a ladder, and couldn't come back? Oh, you had to be a hero. It's just like you said it now. No bravado, no self-precision, just knowing how. I guess I wouldn't want to think. For you, there was no other way. I guess I wouldn't think I'd be alone today. I'm so confused and alone, and I miss you so damn much. I can still smell your clothes and feel your gentle touch. Oh, you had to be a hero. It's in your blood. You had to be a hero, climbing through the slag and the mud. You had to be a hero. Who knows whatever for? You had to be a hero, like anyone in the war. I guess I never thought I'd see the day when I'd stand in this black dress and hear what people say. He's done his job. He wouldn't want it any other way. You had to be a hero. That's why it led. I can't bear to say you're dead. You had to be a hero you are. And now you're gone, and I look at the sky, and I cry, and I want to know where you've gone. You had to be a hero, just doing your job. You had to be a hero, 'cause that's the stuff that heroes are made of. 'Cause that's the stuff heroes are made of.
Mm.
9/11.
Bravo. Lydia, did you say that you wrote the song?
Everything you ever hear me sing, my dear, I wrote.
Yeah. Beautiful. Really great. Wow.
It's not published yet,
Mm.
but I wanted to try it out here, and here
Thank
I
you.
am.
Thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
that. I'm going to bring on our next performer. His name is Paul McKenna. Welcome, Paul.
Hi. That was very powerful, Lydia. We hear a lot of songs about heroes, but not from the perspective of the surviving spouse. So that was an interesting perspective, and very powerful and very effective.
Thank you.
This is a change of pace here to a more humorous note. This song is called MAGA. I pronounced it for the purpose of this song, MAGA, not MAGA. The tune is My Guy by Mary Wells. And it does have a call and response line, so please do the call. Please do the response, even though we can't hear you. I think it'll enhance your appreciation of the song if you're doing that response line. Again, it fits better to say, and it sounds better to say MAGA instead of MAGA, so that's how I'm singing it. Okay, here we go. Once I was never Trump, now I'm just a chump for MAGA, MAGA. Once I was moderate, now I've lost my shit to MAGA, MAGA. Now I'm unequivocally Donald's guy, and when he says to jump, I say, how high? I've joined up in the cult, and now I am ultra MAGA, MAGA. Notions that used to make me cringe from MAGA, MAGA. And crazy ideas from the radical fringe of MAGA, MAGA. Have moved into the mainstream narrative, and that is now the world where I live. I've joined up in the cult, and now I am ultra MAGA. I used to be a voice of the center right. Now I've had a conversion and I've seen the light. And like Elise Stefanik and J.D. Vance, whenever Trump whistles, I get up and dance. All my rational filters have disappeared with MAGA, MAGA. I've embraced ideas that once dismissed as weird with MAGA, MAGA. Like conspiracy theories from QAnon, and any semblance of sanity is gone. I've joined up in the cult, and now I am ultra MAGA. After January 6th, I said Trump is done, like MAGA, MAGA. Now I've come to see I need to hold my tongue with MAGA, MAGA. I went down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss his ring. Now when he calls the tune, I sing, you know, I've joined the cult, and now I am ultra MAGA. You know, I've joined the cult, and now I am ultra MAGA. You know, I've joined the cult, and now I am ultra MAGA, MAGA. Thank you.
I love those rhymes, man.
Thank you.
It just clicks right in. Love it. I want to bring on our next performer. And I just wanted to say, if we could try to keep introductions a little brief, that will be helpful as we go on. Welcome, Elias. Do you have a quick word
Hello,
for
Ben.
Paul?
What?
Do you have a quick
Oh,
word
that
for
was
Paul?
really fascinating. I was trying to think back and see if I could remember of the name of the backup group from Mary Wells, but I've forgotten it. So anyway, a little bit. And Paul, thank you. Excuse my asthma coughing, not contagious, thankfully. Anyway, Paul, it was a fascinating song and certainly a wonderful way to remember some of the days of old that we lived through together. And it was really a fascinating way to change the lyrics to present your interests and concerns. And it was just a great, great song. So thank you so very, very much.
Thank you.
Anyway, there you are. I can see you. So a little introduction to my song, which is called the Cowboy Song. I'm a historian of sorts. And thank you very much, Ben. And I guess people, at least in the United States, probably have a little bit of the memories of the days of the old Wild West. I hope I can get through this without coughing too much. Anyway, it's asthma. I suffer with it, and that's that. So there were days of adventure, class warfare, gun violence, many of the topics we've been going over this evening. So I began writing this song when I was part of a 5-piece country rock band back in 1974, which I guess it's almost 50 years ago that I could be that old. Oh my. It's about the shootout at the OK Corral with some history put in. And I don't know if people really think about the outlaws of the Old West were settlers like everybody else, and they just happened to get on the bad side of the fence and were considered criminals, and they were simply trying to get by and make a living like everybody else. So I think it's a little discriminatory and oppressive towards the outlaws and cowboys. But let me see. You probably won't be able to see me with this. I've got this low technology video screen and all. I'm sure you can hear me. Yep. And I will sing the song a cappella. So let me see if I can pull up the lyrics here. And let me know if you can't hear me. Oh, good, there's the video screen. Maybe you'll be able to see me a little bit. Oh, it's 6 verses and a chorus. So verse 1 begins, my mother was an Indian, my father Jacob's eye. I was raised on sand and gravel and I learned how not to die. My first kill was at 10 years of age. The gold it served me well. Now I'm 24 and I've paved my way to hell. Excuse me. I'm an outlaw man of the night, son of the rapids rise. Born of coyote, rattlesnake my disguise. Well, there's 20 men in Reno and 10 down at Lone Pine who say they want to do me in. Their wives can tell you why. For while I kill and steal to live, loving keeps me high. My life is like the circle storm, destruction passing by. I'm an outlaw man of the night, son of the rapids rise. Born of coyote, rattlesnake my disguise. The outlaws of the old Wild West had little on which to live. Their cowboy antics providing food and water for wives and children, the sustenance was theirs to give. They weren't bad men, just poor but fair, trying their best to just get by. We remember them well for both bad and good and for everything they did try. I'm an outlaw man of the night, son of the rapids rise. Born a coyote, rattlesnake my disguise. I traveled to Dam's Tombstone, Doc Holliday and the brothers Earp all were there. The Clanton gang and Billy Claiborne waited for that dusty dry day to clear. The OK Corral hung lost and lonely as Wizendo men walked slowly by. All people there that historic day wondered how many gunslinging men would die. I'm an outlaw man of the night, son of the rapids rise, born of coyote, rattlesnake my disguise. The shots rang out loud once more, and again resounding through Corral OK. Dust clouds rose up to blacken the sun while many folks bowed to pray. No one knew their answers there, but some didn't know their lies. Everyone stood lost to unholy skin, while all the world's children, women and children cried. I'm an outlaw man of the night, son of the rapids rise, born a coyote, rattlesnake my disguise. Once more a day embraced by all relies on us to try to make sense of disastrous acts and heaven's holy question, why? The Lord only above us high can answer one and all. The moral we do hear again today provokes our lingering lonely call. I'm an outlaw man of the night, son of the rapids rise, born of coyote, rattlesnake my disguise.
Bravo! Thank you, Elias.
Thank you. Could you see me at all during that?
Oh, we did. We did.
Great. I didn't think you'd be able to see me. I just thought you'd hear the song.
Oh
Great,
yeah, we heard.
perfect.
We
Thank
heard
you
and
so much,
saw.
Ben.
Thank you.
Great time. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for coming, Louise. Welcome. Our next performer, Louise Hetzler.
Oh, that was really great. I love the historical. It's definitely a familiar song. I've heard it before. It's
I've done it. Let me see. Yeah, I've done it on PMN, I think, a few times. And
did you
one time
didn't
I
write?
did it
Did you
with,
write it? Did you write it?
yes, I started in 1974, and I think I kind of left the one cowboy reference in the song hanging in a bad place. So I figured I'd better write some more lyrics to it and redeem him so he wouldn't just end up going to hell with no recourse.
Well, I couldn't tell whether that's like a famous ballad or whether you wrote it. So that's a high compliment to you because it sounds like a famous song I may have heard throughout history. But if you wrote it, if you say you wrote it, I believe you.
I did write it. I can't think that I was particularly influenced. I was listening to a lot of the Eagles songs at that time back in the 1970s. Let's see, Take It Easy, Already Gone, and some other ones, Desperado. So I probably was influenced some by their music as far as what I wrote. But no, it was completely original. I woke up one morning and it was like the song had just dropped into my head, along with the name I eventually used with the band. And, it just sort of came forth. And as I said back, it was both the pandemic began, but it's probably about 2015 or so I started and did. And then that, I guess it was the lyric about the outlaws and describing their lives and problems that I just wrote, I don't know, maybe about noontime today. So that's the newest part of the whole song.
Well,
But
that's very
thank you so
enjoyable.
much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so the song that I have chosen today, again, is an old one. This is 29 years old. And it came about from a visit to my sister. It's called LA County, as in Los Angeles County, LA County. And I had visited my sister there, and I remember being in the yard, which had a walled California yard. And I looked up at the sky. I think my sister mentioned that there was a mountain range, but you can't see it because of the pollution, I guess. So that kind of struck me. And I wrote this song. So hope you like it. Oh, LA County, it's in quite a state. It's gotta change its ways before it's too late. What makes one think of a frog in a bowl The water gets hotter, still the frog doesn't know, and the smog hangs overhead like an unwelcome blanket, covering the pretty prisons of yards and the invisible mountains. There are 10-lane freeways, but it comes at great expense. Makes one think of damaged lungs and oxygen tents. And people stuck in traffic jams, they don't feel so free. This gasoline-powered madness is hurting you and me, and the smog hangs overhead like an unwelcome blanket, covering the pretty prisons of yards and the invisible mountains. The smog is trapped by a mountain range. Still, one can feel the winds of change. Alternative cars are what will be, powered by the sun and pollution free, and the smog will disappear. And the yards won't seem like prisons, and the people will breathe clean air and view the beautiful mountains. Thank you.
Bravo, Louise. Thank you so much. Thank you for the song, and thanks for the vision of what some kind of ecological restoration could look like. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, to wrap it up, I'm going to do a quick song here that I wrote. It's called Uncle Sam Sees a Shrink, and I usually do it with my Uncle Sam costume on, but I don't have that on for you today. But what I like to say is, yeah, hi, my name is Uncle Sam, and I say this is the me. This I'm Uncle Sam. I put the I'm messing up my own introduction, but it's the putting to rhyme and rhythm the therapy notes from Uncle Sam's session with his therapist. So what brought me here, Shrink, is I started to think that perhaps I've gone into decline. I almost forget when the sun never set on countries whose rules I define. My unrivaled power meant nations would cower and help my vast wealth to accrue. If one wasn't supine or they got out of line, well, I'd just take them out in a coup. And I have by far the most nuclear warheads. Each one is on trigger alert. My hundreds of foreign bases are spread to maintain the control I exert. So, doctor, help me. I can't understand why wielding this power feels pointless and bland. Even with all my arms, my wealth and grandeur, I still feel so insecure. And be frank with me, please. I'm down on my knees. Your words come with weighty credentials. Why am I in this pain? Can you help me regain the status of being essential? It just makes me irate when erstwhile client states demand that I honor their borders. I feel anxious and sick. Check the diagnostic manual of mental disorders. Hey doctor, what's the assessment at which you've arrived? And where's it described in this text? I'm paging up there right now in the DSM-5 for, what's the section called again? The military? Industrial complex? Says the symptoms are fraudsters and hacks win the biggest contracts, building jet fighters and drones. Economies go down in the cities and towns once lenders start calling in loans. Doc, my global franchise runs on free enterprise. Your opinion has caused me frustration. Just help me to see all the threats facing me, like the meddling done by foreign nations. Or do you mean to imply that the very armed forces, key to the power I've known, empty me of my best resources and cause me to feel so alone? My consultants attested that you were the best, but I clearly see now you're a phony. I pay you too well to be left in this hell of the stress that comes with hegemony. This session has only made me feel more ill and thrown your prestige into doubt. You should have known I'm a shining city on a hill. We're done now and I'm walking out.
Oh, Ben.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. Well, this has been really fun and great swap. Lots of international folks tonight. And I just want to call your attention, for those of you sticking around, to the People's Music Network website. We have some great events coming up, including Songs of the Spirit. We have If I Have a Song. If I Had a Song, of course, is a song critique workshop. And I'll just bring it up on screen so you can see it. This is the website, and you just go to events here, upcoming events, and then they're all listed right here. Songs of the Spirit, that's coming up Sunday after Thanksgiving for anybody who's interested in doing this particular practice of sharing songs that are like easy to sing along with. This is the one I was mentioning, PMN Songwriters Peer Feedback Session. Eric Law was the first performer tonight. He's one of the folks who is helping to facilitate that session along with Joni, Steve, and Marcy, and also Barbara Dyskant, who performed earlier. So this is a really great resource for people in the network, People's Music Network, who are looking for peer feedback on songs that they're working on. That last song I did, I brought to If I Had a Song as well. So that's just some of the online events that are coming up, and hope folks can participate in some of that. With that, I'll cut the live stream and maybe stick around if people want to chat for like 5 or 10 minutes. Thanks all.